Hello everyone, this is Diane. I'm here to show you this journal that I've completed. It's created with a vintage book from the early 1900s, and the story was called A Sweet Girl Graduate by L.T. Mead. It's a beautiful cover. It wasn't in awesome condition. You can see the stains here and on the back. I did put Mod Podge all over the front and back cover and on the edges here because the edges were fraying. So it feels a little rough where the Mod Podge is like protecting the frayed pieces. I added silver book corners because the corners were very frayed. But I think I dressed it up nicely. So it is a lovely vintage journal. This cover was part of the book cover, of course, and I used this grayish blue fabric on the spine with some flowers. This vintage lace, cotton lace, and on the back it's just a thin vintage blue lace. I created a little belt for our Sweet Girl Graduate with this piece of pretty blue, or it's a silvery gray elastic, and I added these pieces. They look like metal, but I think they're plastic. And I got them at Hobby Lobby. It was a set of 2, and it's one of the Sewology brand, and it was either 40 or 50% off when I when I was there. All of their Sewology was. And I thought I wanted to try them with this, and I really liked the way it turned out. I just folded the ends of the elastic under and then just stitched the pieces to the elastic. I stitched this piece on and then put the elastic around the book and, you know, folded it under and made sure I had the right width, or the right length. It could have been a little bit shorter to kind of stretch it more, but it fits. It's just about right, and if you add more elements, it's got room. It'll stretch if you make the book expand a little bit. So I really like this, and I have one more that I can use from that little package. And I added this little ring. It's got a brad on the back of it, and it had the little ring on it, and I added this charm. I believe someone sent that to me in a Happy Mail. I've probably had it for quite a while, but it was perfect for this journal. So thank you to whoever sent that. Sorry. Oh dear. I apologize. I did use a digital kit with this, and I don't know what name it was. It wasn't called Blue Lace in the Etsy shop, but when I got it as a download, I think the download is called Blue Lace. But it's from Digital Fit, and I will link this kit below. So I printed the pages. I had to cut them, trim them to fit into this journal, which I should tell you the measurement, by the way. It is almost 5 inches by 7.5. So I did have to trim the papers. And it came with a few ephemera pieces. And I don't think I used any other digitals. I took the pieces that I had to cut off to make them fit into the book. I did some embellishing with them, so I took a strip of 3 of them and sewed them to a piece of white cardstock. I made a pocket here, and then I just added these 2 pieces of heart-shaped lace. And I've had this in my stash. I don't know where it came from, but I thought it was perfect for this. This book did have a lot of illustrations, so I used some of them. So here's one of the tall ones, and I backed it to a blue parchment, pale blue parchment, and added a little piece of lace. I added some pretty laces to the edges of some of the pages, and you'll see them as we go through. Oh, I need to take these out. I'm including with the book the extra illustrations that I didn't use, and maybe some words you might want to include in your book, a mysterious episode, and the fashion of the day, and a message. and some illustrations. And it says here it was given to Marguerite somebody in 1914. There's the title page. 1910 publishing date. And then I didn't know if you might want to use some of those chapter titles. And there's the first page. And I included some of the strips that I cut off so you can embellish with little pieces of that. Okay, let's get into the journal. I love this piece of lace, the shape of the lace, and then the little blue embroidery in the centers. And I think this is my favorite page of the journal kit with the gold X's on there. I backed the journal pages, the digital kit, with this. It's a pale, kind of marbled looking paper, and I'm not sure which digital shop that came from, because I've had that in my computer files for a long time. This is a blue parchment paper, and I just did some stamping on it and added this butterfly, which is part of the kit, a fussy cut. This is a piece of tracing paper, or typing paper, and it's vintage. This came out of a diary, and I liked that it had lined paper, and I just added a little embellishment of a blue lace, and then this little ribbon and rosette embellishment. There's a little ledger page here. I stamped those corners. The journal kit included these shapes, and they were big for the size of this book, but I cut off one end of it and made this into a tuck spot. And I had an extra page printed, so I just cut it down and made a little journaling spot out of it. And this, I did use another digital set. It's Mrs. Coggs Stitch With Me. So I put some of those cards in this. I looked for ones that had blue. And this little tag is part of the kit, and I used this little flower and all these little fun things. It came off of a vintage hat, a little girl's hat that I got at the flea market. There's a flower that comes with the kit, and again, it's embellished with a little flower that I got. Maybe that came in a Happy Mail. There's a doily. This is a blue dyed paper. And there's another illustration from the book. The heap of paper concealed a purse. This is a piece of blue vellum that I glued some lace onto, blue lace. This is an embellishment from the kit, a tag from the kit, and a Mrs. Coggs image. There is magenta on some of the pages of the embellishments, so in addition to the blues, I did add some magenta colors. This is a tag that I made in a Tag Tuesday video. It's just a white shipping tag, and I added a piece of vintage piano roll paper and a fussy cut from the kit, a stamp, always be on the lookout for the presence of wonder, and a little bit of this vintage tatting with blue on it. This is resume paper here. Made a little fabric cluster. This pocket is part of the kit, and I did add one of my wax seals. And I took another white tag and added some stamping on it, and then a Mrs. Coggs image. A little piece of lace that says, "Handmade is best." That's a stamp that I have. This came out of a book of fussy cut images, and I thought the blue was perfect. And I wanted to use some of my calling cards. These are Victorian era calling cards, and this is Permalina Finksy, or Linksy. Kind of hard to read those elegant letters. There's a dove back here with the pen work. Isn't that pretty? And I made a little vellum pocket to hold the little calling card. Did some more stamping on this page. And then I just cut a little image from the book and added it as an embellishment. The next signature piece of lace on that diary page. This one says, "You may count what is here." She's holding out some money. And there's the other part of that extra page that I had. This is a white vellum with the blue lace on it. This came out of that book also, of Fussy Cuts. Here's another tag that I made. It says, "There is beauty in simplicity." There's another wax seal. This was made with the clear wax, and I dusted it with a little blue, forgot the name of that powder. It's a mica powder. It's got a little bit of gold paint there. Here's another cigarette card, not a calling card, but they're vintage. Taking up her pen, she began to write. It's appropriate for a journal, right? That piece of lace. Priscilla Peel was standing in the center of the room. And replace fear of the unknown with curiosity. And this one has a transparent seal with a Tree of Life stamped on it, and I painted it with gold paint. There's another cigarette card. This is one of Tim Holt's etchings, I think they're called. They're kind of glossy ephemera pieces that are printed in black and white, and I colored it with distress crayons. And I will not spoil my looks by burning the midnight oil. Here's a little blue sack that I had, and I just put some pretty lace on there and another Mrs. Coggs image in the tag. This is a white shipping tag. I took another couple of the strips that I cut from the papers and just glued them on there. And I'll have to put my signature seal on the back. And it closes very easily. Just hook that through there, and there you go. So this is Sweet Girl Graduate, and it is listed in my shop. Let me just count the pages. I always forget to do that. Nine pages. So 36 sides and a signature, so 36 times 3. I'll put that in my listing. So this is in my shop when you see this video, and I hope you will follow the link below to go to my shop. I do have some items still in the shop, I think. While I'm filling it, I do. So you can see what's there besides the digitals. And thanks for watching, and I hope you'll come back to see this one when it gets done. I'm hoping to finish this one today, so this should be in the shop soon. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a creative day today. Bye-bye.